Hello, welcome to Stories and Music with Mama Hedgehog. This is a 3 times a week stream that happens every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday between 7:30 and about 8:30, with music at 7:30 and a kid's story about 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. This is the story section of our stream. So without further ado, let's jump into that story. Once upon a time, a very long time ago, a very long ways away, in a place where the seas are wild and the world turns clockwise, there was a pirate. The pirate's name is Argarin Mufeo. And they are the coolest pirate who ever sailed the seas. Their skin is the color of caramel. Their eyes are black as darkness, and their hair sticks up all around their head in beautiful bushy curls and cannot be contained. And they sail the seas far and wide in their ship, the Queen of the Night. And just now, they are about to set sail on perhaps the greatest adventure of all time, in search of the bones of the parrot McGee, the greatest pirate who ever sailed the seas. Not to be confused with the coolest, they are different. And in case you are wondering, yes, the parrot McGee was an actual bird, a cockatoo to be precise, with a beautiful golden crest. And she ruled her crew with an iron claw and never took no for an answer except when it was the right thing to do. But that was a while ago. And now, legend has it, whoever has the bones of the parrot McGee shall never sink beneath the waves, nor know death by an enemy's hand, nor lose their treasure in very unfortunate events. And so many pirates and many sailors sought the bones of the parrot McGee, which means they looked for them. But so far, no one had found them. But Argarin Mufeo, the coolest pirate who ever sailed the seas, was not to be dismayed by such trivial, which means unimportant, details. They would find the bones of the parrot McGee. They too would be also, as well as the coolest, the greatest pirate that ever sailed the seas. So, they strode up the gangplank to their ship and shouted, "Ahoy, mates! It's time to set sail!" Pirate Argarin sails the seas with 5 crew members, 2 renegades, and an undisclosed number of stowaways. When Pirate Argarin Mufeo appeared on the deck of the ship, the crew members sprang into action. They lifted the anchor, drew up the gangplank, and spread the sails. The stowaways stowed away, and the renegades renegaded around the deck. All was in good order, and all were in high spirits. And Pirate Argarin Mufeo looked out at the great sea before them and nodded. It would be a good day of sailing. So they set out, with the wind puffing merrily along behind them, and the waves dancing around their ship. They sailed far and fast that day, and much was well for a long time, until Pirate Argarin Mufeo looked over the prow of their ship and put their hand to their head to see better against the light. There, sure enough, roiling on the horizon, was a great bank of storm clouds, black and ominous, which means they looked like bad news. Pirate Argarin turned and shouted over their shoulder, "Ahoy! Storm ahead!" The crew members jumped to and began tying down everything loose on the deck of the ship and furling the sails and waiting for the storm that was rushing towards them. The renegades renegaded down below decks, where the stowaways were already properly stowed away. Pirate Argarin strode to the helm of their ship and seized the wheel and stared out with dark and dashing ferocity at the storm approaching. No storm had ever bested the Pirate Argarin. This one would do its very best, I think. It came first as a whisper, the wind brushing along the pirates' cheeks and stirring their great bush of hair. Then the waves began to throw themselves at the ship with slapping, whooshing sounds, and the ship began to rock more furiously. And then all at once the clouds billowed up and over the ship, and rain came pouring down. The ship was rocked, with water falling from above and waves breaking over the edges. The crew members held on for dear life, and Pirate Argarin held fast to the wheel and steered forward. The storm screamed and howled. Thunder boomed about the ship, and lightning crackled along the deck. It was very terrible to watch, and it went on for a long time. But Pirate Argarin steered true, and at last the storm began to die down, spending itself. And just as the crew members were breathing huge breaths of relief, a wave came rolling out of nowhere, up out of the depths of the ocean, and cracked over the prow of the ship, foaming down across everyone there. And when the wave had passed, Pirate Argarin turned and saw a great scaly body looping itself around their ship. "Ahoy!" shouted Pirate Argarin. "Sea monster!" The crew knew what to do. They ran and they grabbed axes and swords and ran back to the monster and started hacking at it. But it just squeezed the ship tighter, and the ship began to groan and creak. Pirate Argarin locked the wheel and marched over to the edge of the ship next to the monster's body. It was big and thick and scaly, but also long, like a serpent. Pirate Argarin leaned over the side of the ship approximately, which means just about where they thought the monster's head might be, and shouted, "Ahoy! Let go of my ship!" There was a moment of silence, and then a fountain of water spewed up next to the ship, and out came a great snaky head. The sea monster looked at Pirate Argarin with scorn, which means she didn't think much of the pirate in front of her. "Why are you squeezing my ship?" said Pirate Argarin. "Because, well, I'm not going to tell you, because I don't talk to pirates," said the sea monster, and flipped her head. "Why don't you talk to pirates?" said Pirate Argarin. "Because I don't like them," said the sea monster. "You know, even if you're talking about me, to me, you're still talking to me," said Pirate Argarin. "Don't be ridiculous," said the sea monster. "I'm definitely just talking about pirates in general." Pirate Argarin frowned. "That still doesn't answer why you don't like pirates," they said. The sea monster narrowed her eyes at Pirate Argarin. "Are you trying to trick me into talking to a pirate?" she asked. "No, it's not a trick, but I do want you to talk to me," said Pirate Argarin. "We need to figure this out." I don't think so, said the sea monster. I know exactly how this goes. I squeeze your ship, you all drown in the ocean, no more pirates, no more nasty stealing. So you don't like stealing, said Pirate Argarin. No, I don't, said the sea monster. It's very nasty. It makes me squiggly in my tummy. I'm sorry to hear that, said Pirate Argarin. But we don't steal. We just redistribute. Which means we take things from some people and give them to other people. That just sounds like a fancy word for stealing, said the sea monster, looking very disgruntled, which means not very happy at all. It's not stealing, though, said Pirate Argarin. Or at least, it's the good kind. Good kind, schmud kind, said the sea monster. Who ever heard of good stealing? Everybody steals, said Pirate Argarin. But we steal for a good reason. We do good things by stealing. How do you mean? Said the sea monster. Well, said Pirate Argarin, some people have more money than they need or could ever want. And some people don't have enough. We just take money from the people who have way more than they could ever use up. And we give some of it to the people who don't have enough. Do you see? That's very interesting, said the sea monster. But my father always told me people who didn't have enough money had done something very bad. That's ridiculous, said Pirate Argarin. You see, it's not someone's fault if they don't have money. It usually means that some bad things happen to them, or maybe the world makes it hard for them to get money. I don't know, said the sea monster. That sounds like a strange idea. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just make everything people not having money do their fault? I like that better. I don't, said Pirate Argarin. And I don't like it that you're stealing my ship. What? Said the sea monster. I am not stealing your ship. Yes, you are, said Pirate Argarin. And it's the bad kind of stealing because we need this ship to stay alive. The sea monster hissed. I don't steal, she said. But you're getting ready to smash our ship to bits, which means you're taking it away from us, said Pirate Argarin. That is stealing. The sea monster looked very offended, which means she thought Pirate Argarin was being very rude to her. She huffed and she hissed. And then, with a whoosh, She lifted her great body up from off the ship and dropped it down into the ocean with a splash. "I don't need your little ship," she said. "I wouldn't steal your ship for anything. You can just take your ship and sail away and do weird stealing that you think is good. I am going to go and have a cup of tea and think about comfortable things." "Okay," said Pirate Argarin. "But don't bother any more pirates, okay?" The sea monster smirked. "I'll bother as many pirates as I like, but I won't steal their ships," she said. "Goodbye, silly pirate." And she sank beneath the waves. Pirate Argarin heaved a huge sigh of relief. And then they strode back to the wheel and unlocked it. Looking over their shoulder, they saw their crew staring at them in awe. "You saved us," said the mate. "Not a thing," said Pirate Argarin. "Sail on." And they did. If you would like to hear more adventures with many characters, including the coolest pirate, Argarin Mufeo, you can check back in this Sunday between 7:30 and 8:30 for music and then another story. We'll have more adventures with Pirate Argarin Mufeo at another day. Maybe not this Sunday, but at another time. I hope you've enjoyed. Have a good night.